Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the All Mid Wrestling Podcast, featuring me, your host, Fratanga Plays, and of course, your co-host, your favorite Muppet of them all, Mr. Delta. How you doing?
Good, how you doing today?
Excellent. And you know what? I'm on your game now. I have an OLED Steam Deck. I'm going to have it drawn
I know.
and put right next to my bong. And then I'll have two items. You have your coffee mug and your Steam Deck. I have my bong and my Steam Deck. I'm going to be the cool.
This would be great.
I will say it's been such a pleasure. I'm going to play wrestling games on my Steam Deck now, actually. That's one thing I wanted to do. I used to love wrestling games on my PSP. Especially Smackdown vs. Raw 2007. I used to play that on my PSP a lot.
I think they just had 2K23 on Humble Bundle Monthly, actually, recently.
Have you tried any wrestling games on the Steam Deck yet?
I have not done it yet. I need to try to look. You know what? No, scratch that. I did do it with AEW's their video game. I did do it with that one. So
all right.
It was actually not bad, actually, surprisingly.
You and me need to we need to have some wrestling matches on this channel. So I'll definitely.
That'd be cool.
I'll buy a bunch of WWE games, and I'll be playing them on the Steam Deck with you because that sounds like a lot of fun. Actually, I always did enjoy doing like TLC matches in the WWE Smackdown vs. Raw or 2K games. But
yeah,
I mean, like, if you want to see more blood, you want to play those games anyway. So,
yeah.
I was going to say, Delta, honestly, I'll be real with you. CM Punk's return, it's slow. It's slow. That's all.
Very slow.
Say. I can't say it's been a disappointment so far because it's too early to say that. But I will say,
too early, yeah.
Friendly Phil Brooks is something else. Like smiling Phil Brooks, mature Phil Brooks is, quite a thing to be witnessing. And I don't want to turn this podcast into the CM Punk podcast where we only talk about CM Punk, but I mean he is the highlight of wrestling this year, and there's been a lot of highlights.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
There's been a lot of crazy things to happen this year. The wrestling world is unpredictable. We got Cody Rhodes and CM Punk back on the roster, and honestly, like we haven't seen CM Punk wrestle yet. And I'm willing to bet he's on a wrestle less, talk more kind of contract as well, which I can't wait for. I mean, if I got paid more to talk, if I got paid to talk more and wrestle less, I would take it because that is brutal on the body. And CM Punk is what, 40 something?
So, no, actually, I think he's got to be like in his late 40s, right?
Yeah, he's got to be in his 40s. Check it out.
45 years old. Yep.
Fuck! 45?
So, yeah.
No wonder
them bones be brittle there. Those bones be brittle here now and then. But even then, John Cena's 46, so he's still out there. So Randy's 43.
Oh, yeah, they are. Honestly, it's kind of crazy to think, but all three have the capability of having another renaissance moment for their careers. Because a lot of wrestlers in their mid-40s hit another stride. A lot of them.
I mean, look at Christian Cage. He's having a renaissance right now, being the heel over at AEW. He's like one of the best talents they got over there.
I would argue the best of Undertaker's career happened in his mid-40s. Like when
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
Same with Shawn Michaels. He hit some of his peak in his late in his career. So it's never too late to see Randy Orton and John Cena bout for the title one more time to see who becomes the 17th.
I would love that.
Honestly, what I've wanted to do is see Randy become a 16-time champ. That way, it's the bout for the title would be Randy Orton versus John Cena to see who gets crowned the 17th time champ. Or, have Randy Orton.
That would be actually amazing.
Have Randy Orton win the belt from Rollins and then lose it to Damian Priest via the briefcase, and then the two fight for Roman's title. I don't know. I mean, like, I want Roman dethroned by somebody who has a future, like a brighter future, so.
I always look at the same, no different than like how they try to cap off the Attitude Era with Undertaker versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels in their own respective matches. And I remember like that being like the end of the Attitude Era was Triple H and the Undertaker. I see that as a way to cap off the Ruthless Aggression Era, because I feel like unlike the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era really didn't get that sent off that much outside of Randy. Like all those guys either went to Hollywood or they retired.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I really would love to see Randy go against John Cena one more time for like one big high stakes to cap off the Ruthless Aggression era to what it was.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah,
I
because
feel like they can still do it.
those two are both on the verge of being 17-time world champs, and it
Yeah,
would be very interesting to see who actually gets it because those two. Those two were the highlight of WWE for like a decade, when everybody else was gone or showing up part time. Randy and Cena had a feud that never seemed to end for a while.
never felt like it's like when you think of the Ruthless Aggression era, you think of immediately you think of John Cena, you think of Randy Orton, and you think of, like Dave Batista. Like those are the main three I think on the top of my head.
Yeah,
So
Dave
yeah.
Batista. Man, if he wasn't even older than everybody else, it would be pretty cool to have him back. But I feel like Batista is so easily injury prone. So a lot of these guys could get hurt because of their age. But at the same time, like the stakes would be very interesting. Like I said, 17-time world champ, who gets it first? Who gets to break a record? It's two of the most iconic faces in all of wrestling. Hosted at WrestleMania, the stakes would be huge for a match like that to crown the first ever 17-time world champ. I would be there, and a lot of people who don't even like wrestling would be there because everybody knows who John Cena and Randy Orton are. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, everybody knows who those two are. So
yeah. For sure, John Cena at least.
Oh yeah, because of Peacemaker, but Randy Orton's known online for sure because like all the RKO memes.
Oh yeah, with the online memes, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna run down this week in wrestling. We'll try to make it a lot more brief than last week's, but we have a tendency to, talk.
Get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, so we're gonna get better at it. So anyway, let me smoke this bowl.
Yeah, folks, we're gonna get better at. Excuse me, everyone. Let me just smoke this bowl real quick.
Let me just smoke this bowl. We'll smoke this bowl, and we're gonna do the Raw recap. So here we go. All right. Okay. So, this is what happened on Monday Night Raw. I didn't actually get to catch enough of Monday Night Raw. But I didn't really get to catch enough, so some of these results are going to be a little weird to me because I didn't get to attend it. But apparently, the show opened up with Drew McIntyre. Yay! Glad I wasn't there. He comes out with a promo to talk about everything that has happened with him recently. As soon as he mentions Zayn's name, Sami Zayn comes out to respond. The Scot decided... Wow, they called Scottish people the Scots, but if you call any other race... Like, if you abbreviate any other race, it's racist. But the Brits. Anyway, the Scot decided not to wait for their match to be later in the night and got a ref to come out and get things going, which Zayn seemed up for. McIntyre took control right out the gate and threw Zayn halfway across the ring with the belly-to-belly suplex. The Scottish
Warrior, was wild to watch.
I gotta see that, actually.
By the way.
The Scottish Warrior is adjusting nicely to working as a heel again, blah, blah, blah. Began focusing on Zayn's knee once he saw him favoring it as the ref was trying to check on Zayn. McIntyre drilled him with a Claymore to get the win. This was a fun... Oh, wow. Well, finally McIntyre picked up a win.
Yeah, right.
But, I mean, like, Sami Zayn is there to get pinned by everyone. I don't
know. Well, I think also because, like, I think Sami Zayn's trying to write himself off to get some break time. So this is, like, the segment right here to get Sami Zayn off television for a little bit, which he has earned it. The amount of time he's been doing with the Bloodline and all that stuff, and with Kevin Owens with the tag team titles, man needs a break. He's been working his ass off all year, the last year or two. So, he deserves a break.
Was he carried off in a stretcher in this segment?
Yeah, they say he was injury prone for that.
Yeah, he's going to be written off for, like, a month or so.
I'd probably be back for the Rumble. Probably take a break for just the Rumble.
That guy carried the Bloodline storyline single-handedly, so he deserves all the breaks. So, this was a fun way to start the show. It was a 20-minute... so, anyway, I guess they basically started with like a short segment and right into a match. Honestly, wrestling needs to get back into the habit of starting every night with a wrestling match. No talking.
I agree.
Start the night...
Takes up the pace.
Start the night with your mid-carders... winning the crowd over, and then have an in-ring segment, right? I don't know. I mean, like, the way things are placed on this show, you can tell it's all done for ads. It's all done for how they can manipulate the ratings to look a little more favorable for them. It's like, all right, make sure we don't have dips in these areas, and it'll look better. So it's all politics. It's all bullshit. But honestly, it's nice to start Monday Night Raw off with Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. These two talents fighting each other. I would definitely like to see that. So I'm going to go back and watch it. Notable moments and observations. Let me know if any of these came out to you. It looks like Zayn just got out of the shower here. His hair was soaking wet. I mean,
he always looks like he's sweating his ass off, or his hair's always soaking wet no matter what. It looks like a hobo guy that just wanted to wash his face with some dirty water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always looking like that.
All wrestlers look soaking wet. So I mean, that's not really an observation. Bleacher Report. Zayn did a really nice tornado DDT to counter a sidewalk slam.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, okay.
That was good.
One of McIntyre's suplexes sent Sami Zayn from ring post to ring post. That sounds sick, actually. I remember when Big Show threw Brock Lesnar halfway across the ring. It looked wild. It looks crazy. All right, Mommy comes out next, so you probably were awake during this time. But unfortunately, she came out to Nia Jax.
Unfortunately.
Oh, wait, no, it's not. Never mind. It's Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler. My bad. For some reason, there's a picture of Rhea Ripley here. Anyway, but no, it's Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler who went off. Oh, fuck. Never mind. I would have tuned out for that one. That's definitely gonna need an eye cleanser, to see Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax lock up. I'm gonna need to.
I mean, the only time you saw Rhea Ripley show was towards the end of the segment right there. It was she riptied some dude, one of the security dudes, which that dude basically was a lucky fan tonight.
Come on now. He was smiling the whole time.
He's smiling in the corner underneath by the ring. Yeah.
I'm just crossing my fingers. I'm like, please, Rhea Ripley's sex tapes and nudes leak already.
Can you just riptide me real quick, please?
You know Rhea Ripley has porno out there somewhere on her phone.
There's something out there.
She's recorded something on her phone. Because none of these chicks are very smart. Or any of the dudes either, for that matter. Like Seth Rollins just sending out dick pics to... Anyway, so there's not much to say here. Who won? Let's see. Who won? Nia Jax beat Shayna Baszler.
Well, all she has to do is slam her ass on her.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, damn. Shayna Baszler's supposed to be a legitimate fighter kind of thing, But it's WWE. It's a whole different world. But anyway, Nia Jax getting the win. Fuck. Really?
I don't know why. I don't know why Nia Jax isn't here. The roster's stacked as is. I don't know why Nia Jax is even here.
Apparently, Becky Lynch had a backstage confrontation before the match. Where Nia Jax and Becky Lynch had a confrontation. That's hilarious. Well, remember when
she had to go out there. You know how you made me relevant is when you broke my nose by accident.
No, she broke her face. Nia Jax shattered her her skull, her face had a crack in it. That's how crazy powerful Nia Jax's punches are compared to this just average woman.
I like how even Bleacher Report makes a note of this right here. That there was a scary moment and Jax landed right on Baszler's head.
What?
With the German suplex, so even they're acknowledging that Nia Jax is
dangerous.
Always hurting the roster all the time.
Bro, other than Nia Jax, another pair that are also very dangerous were the Bella twins. They also, they were also hurting people. Hold on. Okay. Anyway, the Bella twins were also hurting folks. They were actually punching people. They actually kicked someone in the face full. Oh my god, it was a bad one. I remember seeing that one. You know how they do the rapid kicks to the face when someone's on their knees? Ha! Like the Daniel Bryan kicks? Well, I forgot which Bella. She was doing it and basically landed one for real. The chick, I was like, oh! It looked pretty brutal. And then she punched, who was it? She punched Ruby Riott for real. by accident. Yeah. But no, Nia Jax has legitimately gotten people off the roster for a few months. So, yeah, that is this very scary image in my head. I'm glad I actually didn't see that. That sounds horrifying for Nia Jax's fat fucking ass to land on your head, bro. Like, Delta, nobody wants that. Do you want that, Delta?
I gotta find this. Yeah, I gotta look this up. This shit was so funny to me. I sent this to somebody. I was like, wow. They did like a Mortal Kombat segment where like Nia Jax landed her fat fucking ass on someone's face. This shit was intense.
Bro, dude, I would know the mental image of that. It's kind of like Rikishi just dropping his fat fucking ass on your head. Let me see. You sending me the meme? All right, let's see. Oh shit, is this the clip? Oh god.
And Shayna Baszler again now.
Oh!
That's the notable moment right there.
That is such a good edit.
Shayna Baszler again now.
Oh, that is oof. Oof. No. Anyway, apparently there was also another segment where McIntyre was shown backstage attacking Zayn.
That's the injury segment we're talking about right here. That's what takes him off the television for it.
Okay, and so basically he pulled off remember when Braun Strowman flung Roman Reigns off the stairs on the...
I'm not finished with you. I'm not finished with you.
Dude,
he throws him off there. I'm not finished
with you was Braun Strowman's greatest gimmick. His entire existence was just beating the shit out of Roman Reigns, and the fans loved it. I miss those days. Anyway, I like the violence. I like seeing McIntyre hurt people. More of this, please, you know? If McIntyre just becomes the guy who sends people to the hospital with, like, his stupid headbutts, that'd be great. Anyway, next, we got Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci having been fighting with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano for 2 weeks. So a 2 out of 3 falls match was booked. Wow, so they have a 2 out of 3 falls match this night. Okay, I wish I would have seen that one. I didn't see this. Kaiser started.
It's really good, actually. It was really good.
Let's see who got the first pin. Let's see. Kaiser rolled up Ciampa for the first pin after Vinci pulled Gargano out of the ring. After break, though, DIY scored 2 straight falls. Oh, to win the whole thing. Man, bro, come on, Imperium.
No, but here's the thing, though. This did a good job showing Imperium as a team, away from Gunther. It actually did make them look strong, despite losing the bout. In my opinion, at least, it did a great job building up DIY as a notable force in the tag team division, but also putting up Imperium to actually show that they could do well if they were to break off and do singles. Especially even Bleacher Report makes a note of right here with Vinci right here with his off the top rope somersault flip here. If you're there.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, I see it right here. Yeah, I see it in the Twitter.
Does a great job highlighting their strengths, in my opinion, despite the loss.
That is a very impressive moonsault, yeah. I didn't even know Giovanni Vinci could do shit like that.
Yeah.
So, you're right. I guess this was going to highlight that. I'm disappointed because Imperium is on a hard losing streak. Gunther is on a really good winning streak. Imperium, on the other hand, is on a losing streak. A bad one.
Well, they look at it as that's the offset of it all. It's like Gunther is Imperium, they're Imperium, therefore he's undefeated versus these guys. They're just like, nah.
This sounds like a
henchmen,
great match.
but they still have their good parts. They have their good things. They have their good highlights that will show them that they can hold their own without Gunther, despite losing.
Yeah. This sounds like it was a great match. I'm gonna watch it for sure. Anything with Tommaso Ciampa, I'm sold on. Anything with Imperium, I'm sold on. So let's go. But and the 2 out of 3 falls match is perfect to settle a score like this, or to just prove we are the better team. That's part of the reason I like 2 out of 3 falls matches is because it's like the way to prove you are the better opponent. But yeah, anyway, Imperium though needs to catch AEW soon. I'm not saying they need to win the tag titles, but they need some notable wins because they just look like nothing but Gunter's goons. But it is nice to see them out there on their own, though, right? Gunter didn't come out with them at all. Doesn't seem so here. Because I bet if Gunter had come out with them, they would have won.
Right.
So anyway, Imperium might be on the verge of imploding, but WWE has done a good job positioning all three members of the group as solo acts. Yeah. Anyway, one notable moments included Vinci hitting a running crossbody that looked amazing. He was moving very fast and took Ciampa down hard. Vinci's that moonsault I saw from him off the top third rope, that was pretty sick though. Gargano's fake out kick is always a fun moment in a match. Yeah. Kaiser's facial expressions are always on point. Yeah. Ludwig Kaiser is a gift to wrestling. He
Kaiser is very charismatic. He, like, in my opinion, and he's like, that's why I like how like they showed more of Vinci showing him his strengths. I feel like that's very lacking lately. Like, it's always like if you're looking at Imperium outside of Gunther, it's it's obviously gonna be Ludwig Kaiser, because he's so charismatic at what he does.
He talks on the mic more than Gunther does. So yeah, I mean,
his mouthpiece basically.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Ludwig. I mean, I've seen the matches him and Gunther had when they weren't part of a group. And they were brutal to each other. And Ludwig is just very talented, dude. He's got a look to. I'm pretty sure when they separate Imperium, which is gonna happen, obviously, one day, Ludwig is gonna get a pretty decent solo run. I don't know about Da Vinci though. He's gonna, like you said, he needs more highlight moments, and he got that in this match with that awesome fucking top rope moonsault. So
they show off his promo skills, but more, if you ask me.
I don't think he has any promo skills. That's why.
That's what you need to position him to be better solo. You need to show that he actually can be good at promos.
It would be interesting because like Ludwig and Gunther are both like they're both capable on the mic, obviously, but Da Vinci, I think I only ever heard him speak on the mic one time.
Yeah,
one time, but. It wasn't bad or good. It was just he spoke, Natalya and Knox versus Carter and Chance. I do not care about.
It's pretty much the biggest miss of the night so far. It's pretty much like I always say, like, it's unfortunate. Like the women's division, and that's just not even just WWE. AEW is the same way too. It's like I don't know why it is. It's like outside of Rhea Ripley, everyone's just forgettable for the most part, and their matches are forgettable. They're like piss break matches.
You want to know what it is, Delta? You really want to know?
I just don't. There's a lack of. It's not even just.
Nobody wants to see women's wrestling. Nobody wants to see. No one wants to see women's basketball. No one wants to see women's soccer. No one wants to see. What I
guess.
Mean? You know what I mean?
I guess.
It's not like it's not. It's a niche thing. Like not even women want to watch it. So it's like it's understandable why a lot of people go take piss breaks or why like the ratings dip around this time. It's just. It's like people want. I don't know. I don't know what to tell like the folks who really want you to be into it. And the only time I'm into the women's storylines is when they're being bitches to each other. I'm like, yeah, when they're being absolute bitches to each other. But when all the in-ring stuff, not that great. Like the only person who's actually good in the ring is Charlotte Flair. Rhea Ripley's pretty confident in the ring. Asuka's great in the ring, but like all the other women are terrible.
I think Rhea Ripley is the highlight because she does a great job of, make herself look strong, but also she does a great job putting her opponents over and making them look strong too. When they hit a move, she does sell the shit out of it. Yeah. So that's a good worker in there.
Back in the day, you have to remember, back in the day, these slots here would have been filled in by more men's matches or other in-ring segments. So these days we get like 2 women's wrestling matches per show now, right? We get 2 women's wrestling matches per show plus like 2 women's in-ring and backstage segments per night as well. I would say it's like about there. So like you get a fair bit of women's wrestling, and I think it just kind of it slows down the show for some folks. I mean, like I think the women's moments, I don't know. Like the highlights are when it's like Rhea Ripley, like you said, but she's like, again, she's talking to the men. She's having moments with the men, not the women. Like her defending the title is secondary to her role in Judgment Day. If you've noticed, like what she does in Judgment Day, her segments there matter way more. And management is treating her like title defenses like secondary, I don't know, like they got to spice it up. We need a female wrestler who is like legitimately very, very good on the mic, because the majority of them are cringe on the mic.
Yep.
They're just bad on the mic. Charlotte Flair, I don't think does good promos. I'll be real with you. Rhea Ripley, like, you know, she doesn't have to say much. She says the right things. She says the right things, but honestly, I don't think she's that great of a promo either. So I don't know. Women's wrestling needs they need somebody who's an equivalent to a male wrestler. But that's the thing. We're not equal, are we, Delta?
No.
We're not equal, are we? Cancelled. Anyway, notable moments. Niven making Cole call her Miss P was hilarious. Wow, that really happened. What was she like screaming at Cole during the match? I gotta see that. When Natty powerbombed both women at once, their heads came close to hitting each other on the way down. Oh, I've seen that happen when there's like a double powerbomb plenty of times. The way Carter held Chance up before dropping her on the Queen of Hearts for the pin looked awesome. Okay, cool. Oh, the Creed brothers! Now this is what I've been waiting for, because I did get to catch this. So the Creed brothers and the Creed brothers versus Dom Mysterio and JD McDonough. For the this was not for the titles though, I believe, right? This was not for the titles, which caught me off guard, because I was like, they won! I was like, wow! Huh? Oh, not for the titles. Okay.
I mean, because it's Dom and JD McDonough, that's why.
Yeah. Apparently Cody Rhodes came out to his usual array of tears and fans singing his song, only to end up being interrupted by another video of Shinsuke Nakamura. Once we go back, that's what happened there. I forgot to mention that. Rhodes and Nakamura had another segment. I'm down for this.
Yeah.
Match. I'm down for Nakamura and Rhodes. I already said that last week. You don't need to hear me say it again. I think everybody is down for this. Let's get to the match. So it would seem they had a high-paced match with a lot of enjoyable sequences and spots. I saw this one. This is, I think, around the time I was like fully tuning in. And yes, I agree with what Bleacher Report says here. The Creeds are on another level. They've impressed. They've impressed. And their short run so far. Do you think they're gonna be given the titles, Delta?
I don't know. It's like it does make you wonder sometimes. Like the tag team division always tries to like ride the trend on a lot of things, and like they'll really push the shit out of a tag team division. It's really over with the crowd. Like, I mean, remember they were going to do that with remember like Big Cass back in the day.
Big Cass and Enzo Amore. They had you thinking they were going to be the next tag champions.
You thought that, and then like all of a sudden they pulled back on that, and ever since then they never got a chance at it.
And then
it's
they
like, it was weird.
Big Cass and they separated them so soon too. It was wild.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it depends. They ride trends sometimes depending on the situation, and they might pull back last minute. Like, and it really makes you wonder. Like they're a young talent. Like they'll definitely be in the tag team division for a minute at least, because they got to get their, to show out their strengths of what they are as a tag team division before they decide to eventually break them off into singles competition. Mm-hmm. So I could totally see them not giving them the belts yet. But, given the current status of Dominic Mysterio after Deadline, it does make you wonder. Because it always keeps like showing the pendulum swinging back and forth. Is this going to be the end of the Judgment Day here? Is Judgment Day finally folded because so and so lost their belt or something like that, or like they failed to successfully achieve their goal on this thing right here, due to lack of leadership? So I don't know. Like it really just depends. There's so many variables in it.
I think what's going to happen is not that Judgment Day is going to split apart, but they're going to cut off members one by one over time. Kind of like NWO status, sort of, and I think Dominic is going to be the first to go. I think they're going to, like, all of Judgment Day with Rhea is going to turn on Dom, and then, he's going to be the first to go, and then they're going to move on to JD McDonough, and then they're probably going to have other people come in and replace them for a short bit, and then do also the cut off before it does a full breakup. I don't know. I feel like Judgment Day has shown that they're the type of group that will find a new leader before they disband. So
Well, they've always been back and forth on who is the leader of the Judgment Day,
Yeah,
and
that is
and they
true.
always looked at recently with the Survivor Series segment, them failing to win their match at Survivor Series, and Damian Priest was the leader in that whole situation. He's the one that made the plan. It does make you wonder that maybe eventually when he does cash in, and I think he will cash in sometime real soon, and I think he will fail. I think they'll eventually drop him next, and he'll end up going a face turn on that point, going at that point solo without them.
Yeah. There's so many interesting ways you could split this group up. I've actually really enjoyed Judgment Day's run. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I take it back. Finn Balor has to be the first to go.
He's so
useless.
I don't
Finn
know.
Balor.
You definitely tell Finn Balor is just there to happy to collect a paycheck and is here to perform. He don't give a shit.
Smiling
Whatever.
Finn Balor. Fucking underwear model Finn Balor. So yeah. Anyway, as for the Creed brothers, you're right. I think what this is WWE's writing them to show that they can go through the competition and make it to the finals, so they are on that level. And this is what basically they're showing us. But they're probably not going to win the titles, is more or less to show that they are on that level. But if they do win the titles, WWE must believe in these guys and is pushing them to the moon. But like to win the tag titles on their debut, I mean, very, very few wrestlers have, won big titles on their debuts. I mean, like Santino Marella was one of them. Carlito was one of them. You know what I mean? But yet, no. Even though winning a title for your first time in your career leads to nothing, which is weird, right? Because you know who Carlito beat for the title in his debut?
No.
John Cena.
Oh, there you go. That tells you how forgettable that run was.
He beat Cena for the U.S. title on his debut. And nobody remembers that. Nobody remembers Santino Marella winning on his debut either. So, I don't know. But this is memorable because they're booking it right. They're showing them win multiple matches. It feels more organic, right? It doesn't feel like this is going to be a forgettable night. These guys are definitely a team that's getting over fast. So, notable moments there are, can WWE please start putting Ivy Nile in matches? And the way Brutus launched Mysterio over the announce table looked great. Nice. All right, Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso. I saw this, the World Heavyweight Championship match. Wow, this did not feel like a title match. This was.
I mean, let's be real here. Do you really think he was gonna lose to Jey Uso of all people on a Monday Night Raw?
I mean, honestly, I never. When it comes to WWE, I never don't consider those things, those possibilities, because I've seen it happen. But with their booking recently, no, definitely shouldn't have expected it. Because I mean, I expected this in the Vince McMahon era. I would have expected that. In the Triple H era, title losses seem to be a little more significant now. So, yeah, no. Anyways, I don't really like friendly Jey Uso. I'll be real with you. I don't like Jey Uso smiling, shaking hands, being excited and pumped. Yay! I liked Jey Uso when he had that angry pitbull face. When he was like a mad dog, Roman's mad dog, looking to fucking fuck someone up. I miss that at Jey Uso. I miss that intensity. Babyface Uso, who, is a crowd pleaser, just feels wrong to me. But they love him. They love him, they do his hand gesture. He gets a big cheer out there. And I don't know, it feels really weird to see him hanging out with all the good guys, doesn't it? Hello?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Sorry. No, yeah, it does feel weird, for sure.
I just don't think it's... I don't think being like a nice guy is for him, like trying to sell people on that. But whatever. Anyway, he had his championship match with Seth fucking annoying Rollins, who, God, I would wish is off the TV. I don't know why they gave this match an A-. This match was like a B at its best. It was very short. There was a lot of commercial breaks in between this match. And, anyway, of course, it was the stomp that secured the victory for Seth Rollins. They shook hands after that. I don't know, someone tried to curb stomp me. I won't be shaking hands with them afterwards. I'll be like, fuck you. You just tried to kill me. As Rollins was celebrating, McIntyre came out of the crowd and nailed Uso with a Claymore. And then he slammed the Visionary on the floor. And my God, McIntyre, stop.
Man's a menace.
Like, I like seeing McIntyre beat people up, but McIntyre, like, having the audacity to win another championship match after losing multiple ones this year, it's not a good look for McIntyre. Makes him look like a sore loser, but I guess that's what you want.
He needs to, if he's gonna keep going this gimmick, he needs to drop the Scottish Warrior gimmick.
Yeah, he needs to stop coming out with the sword. He needs to stop because like that.
Come back as a Scottish psychopath again. I'd rather come back as that, in my opinion, or start something fresh and new. Stop trying to half step it.
Yeah, that was I don't know. I mean, like now he's probably gonna have matches with Jey Uso, I'm guessing. I don't want to see McIntyre and Rollins again. Like all McIntyre does is lose, man.
Get ready, buddy, because it's gonna happen. They need some. They got 2 months before the Royal Rumble. They need to find something to pad it out.
They don't.
This is it.
God, fucking damn it! I don't want to see this again. Okay.
You know it's gonna happen. Oh yeah.
It's just like it's like McIntyre has been booked for multiple championships, Intercontinental, the fucking tag titles, the fucking world heavyweight title, and he's like lost, and he just looks so pathetic.
You know what I really have a problem with Seth Rollins though? I'm getting sick and tired of the pedigree being used. It never wins a match recently. Anytime he uses the pedigree, it doesn't win. It doesn't look good, and it doesn't win a match ever. Mm-hmm. I remember back then, like finishers like the pedigree would secure the win all the time, and like I've yet to see Seth Rollins win with a pedigree in a match ever. It's always a stomp. It's never the pedigree. Which is, I get it, Seth. You want to use the stomp because it's your signature move. Then why are you using the pedigree then? It doesn't make sense. Like all you're doing is making your predecessor look weak because now you're like, oh, the stomp's way more stronger than the pedigree. I agree. Then stop using the pedigree.
Yeah. I never really liked the pedigree as a finisher. Actually, I always thought it looked a little weird. It was a hard one. It's a hard move to sell, to be fair. But maybe I hate it because my brother did it to me in real life when I was younger.
Oh, he did?
We used to do wrestling moves on each other. And he's like, no, your arm's supposed to stay behind. I'm like, ah! It was great. I got pedigreed into oblivion. It hurt. My bro used to do the walls of Jericho on me, too. I used to do, he would let me do swanton bombs on him. Fun times.
I remember I put my brother in the ankle lock one point, and he had to go with a fucking bandage on his ankle to say.
But me and my bros were we were so fucking retarded though. Like we wanted to do backyard wrestling, so like we found like this trash can on our way to like the store full of like fluorescent tubes, dead ones, and we're like, oh shit, let's take these back home. We could use them just like backyard wrestling. I didn't know how much force it actually took to break a fluorescent light bulb. When you hit it over someone's back, you kind of expect it to shatter real easily because you think it's gonna be brittle. It takes a little more force than that to break one across someone's back. So I was like, yeah! To my bro's back, he's like, ah! I'm like, huh? Yeah! I was like, huh? Yeah! So I was hitting him with like it was a kendo stick before it broke. And then finally when it broke, he was like, we're not doing that again. It was retarded. We were dumb. We were dumb. We used to like throwing each other on trash cans and shit like that. We really liked wrestling, okay?
Oh yeah.
We wanted so bad to like just like pretend beat each other up. I don't know why. It was fun. So anyway, Rollins defeated Jey Uso. The crowd gave Samantha Ivering a second to announce Rollins before continuing to sing a song. That was annoying. Can we stop with the woes? Enough with the woes.
Tired of the serenation. All right, let's just get into the match already.
Uso hit a really nice DDT at ringside that Rollins sold perfectly, and the way McIntyre put Uso through the table looked brutal. It did. Anyway, I will say, not a good Raw. Not a good Raw.
I thought it was a fine Raw overall compared to especially the last couple of weeks. I thought it was fine, in my opinion. That's just my thoughts on it.
It wasn't like unwatchable, but it wasn't worth anyone's time. I don't think anything has progressed significantly. We're still getting the same fucking matches, the same people confronting each other. I mean, I swear to God, if I see Judgment Day interact with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn one more fucking time, I'm gonna lose it. So,
oh man,
I'm gonna fucking lose it, but because you know it's gonna happen. Anyway, okay, Monday Night Raw, pretty forgettable night, really. Nothing that cool. All the cool shit always seems to happen on SmackDown for some reason. I think it's because it's
is weird.
It's because it's a Fox aired program, and Fox expects WWE to basically always open up their wallets for the. So they treat SmackDown like the premier show because it's on Fox. You gotta understand that when you're on Fox, you are a premier show. So anyway, NXT. I guess I'm not gonna run down the matches of there, but I'm just gonna get to the main point. CM Punk showed up on NXT. What did you?
Oh, we're skipping SmackDown, moving on to Deadline.
Oh no! Oh, sorry. You're right. This happened after SmackDown, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was on Saturday for Deadline.
Well, we'll skip NXT. We'll skip AEW. I was going to talk about AEW and attendance problems, but I already did that last week. Let's move on to away from that subject. And let's go on to a SmackDown. We'll bring up the SmackDown Bleacher Report, SmackDown recap, and
Can I make some small highlights though about AEW real quick before we move on to that?
Go for it because you watched that.
So
yeah,
I did take time to actually watch AEW Dynamite and Collision right now. The Continental Classic is going on right now to decide who gets the new belt for the title right there they're having going on. It's right now the Dynamite's having the gold division, and I believe it's the blue division for Collision right now. It's like they have their own division going on, and ultimately ends up by I think at the end of the year at World's End is where they'll have the final match of the final two contenders for the Continental Class to become the new Continental Champion. And Moxley was really good in it. He had his match against Rush, and that was a stellar match for the most part. And right now he's leading the whole thing. And then he had another match with Swerve Strickland versus Mark Briscoe. Briscoe is good for what he was. He's not won any matches so far this whole competition. I think he's pretty much he's out of any chance of winning the Continental Classic, but he will be competing with it.
One of the Briscoe family members is wrestling still.
Mark Briscoe does work at AEW, yeah.
Mark Briscoe, how old is he now? He's
I mean, I just gotta look it up. I don't know how old he is now, but yeah, of course, it's fortunate his brother passed away and everything.
The Briscoe lineage continues.
Yeah, 38 years old is Mark Briscoe.
Wow, I didn't know the Briscoe's lineage continued. I didn't know they had one of their family members wrestling.
Oh yeah, they had the Briscoe brothers, and then the Briscoe unfortunately passed away.
Well, it was kind of nuts because when McMahon took over the wrestling scene, he just turned the Briscoes into clowns on his own show, So
oh yeah,
that was brutal to see. All he did was treat the Briscoes like clowns. But the Briscoes.
Well, I mean, the kid, like I said, the Briscoe brothers are good, but unfortunately, with Jay Briscoe passing away, which is a sad moment for that for sure.
Yeah, that was awful.
Very too young to die for sure.
Oh yeah, no, especially the way he did. So, yeah, that's crazy. So one of the Briscoes is at AEW. I'm gonna keep an eye on that guy. Thanks for letting me know. Actually.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, but and stuff like that. It's like Mark Briscoe versus Swerve Strickland. Strickland ended up winning that whole thing. So Briscoe will be out of any chance of actually winning, but he will be competing for the remaining matches for the people that are still in competition at the moment. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. And they're still looming on right now about MJF and the whole devils, the who's the devil and all that stuff like that. So that's interesting.
MJF, who murdered his girlfriend, apparently.
Apparently.
Remember, he admitted to killing his girlfriend on camera.
Let's see here. And then AEW had Sky Blue and Toni Storm. That was a pretty good match for the most part because Toni Storm plays up her character being this very dainty, black and white type of character. I like that, the whole segment with her. She's very good on the mic. Sky Blue, I got to be showing her stuff. What was it?
Anything from Daniel Bryan? Daniel.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, Bryan Danielson. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got a match on Collision. I'll discuss briefly on it. But yeah, like right now, like Tony Storm defeated Sky Blue. No surprise there because they're trying to ride the wave with Tony Storm right now. So Sky Blue is young, very talented young lady. She'll definitely see a very promising future for herself as she keeps going the way she's going now. Let's see here, and then we get Jay Lethal versus Jay White. Jay Lethal, the man, myth, the legend that tries to, capture the essence of Ric Flair. Yes. Back in the TNA days, so it's Jay White, So that was good. That was a great time, actually. With that, Jay White was pretty great as usual. Like he's one of the best young talents out there. So he definitely showed to perform on that one. So that was really good.
Okay.
And obviously, then the main event that night was the TNT Championship of Edge versus Christian.
Oh.
So
it was the TNT Championship. You said.
Yep.
Okay.
So
the TV belt. Well, it's just it's still not too bad looking of a belt. But who won that one? Sorry.
Cage ended up winning that match against the Edge. Due to Nick Nick Wayne's mom coming in and giving the hitting Edge with the belt.
Yeah.
So that was a big surprise. Actually kind of it isn't a surprise considering that Edge did give Nick Wayne his concerto the previous week. So it doesn't surprise me to her to act that way, to protect her baby boy that way. Yeah. So I get it, even though it does play to the whole thing about Edge, Christian being the father figure that these men never have. It's kind of he's kind of like a reverse Jordan Peterson type of deal with the way he's acting like that. It's I am really their father they'd never had. Kind of deal like that. If he was a wrestler type.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I love it.
I will say AEW did deliver a good meme this year with that one.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yourself is such a good one. That's me with Alex. Yeah. I'm hugging Alex. It's okay, Alex. Go fuck yourself.
It's so the match was good. I feel though this will not be the last one. I think it'll ultimately culminate to the World's End. We'll have the rematch fight there, by the end of the year. I think that'll be on pay-per-view. I was they got to set it up that way. That's the only thing I can think of. So ultimately though, it was a good match overall. And I just, everyone's Bleacher Report reports that it was a major letdown for the finisher. I don't think it was personally. I think it's a way to segment into the bigger match when it comes to the pay-per-view, because there's no way they're just going to let this end here on Dynamite of all places,
right.
And which is weird too, because Dynamite, it's the TNT belt and fucking Dynamite's on TBS. Why the hell would that be? You know what I mean? It's just weird to me.
AEW is a little weird, and it's how it runs things. But when they can put on stellar performances, though, even with a lot of their flaws. Because I have seen some great matches from the AEW card, from wrestlers. I don't even know who you are, but that was amazing. Now
I think the matches are excellent.
So
they just lack a lot of promos, and you definitely, a lot of people will say all the time, why do they keep hiring all these XWE guys? Because those XWE guys all got promo training from WWE, so they know how to do a promo properly. And it shows when you see this young talent that has never been in WWE ever, and some of them just do not know how to promo at all.
I mean,
and Tony Khan does not invest in that, and you can definitely tell Tony Khan does not invest in that either, because his promo skills are dog shit too.
Man, Tony Khan should never be on TV. He should never show his face on TV. Tony Khan should only show up. Man, if I were Tony Khan, I would book myself, because he's fucking Booker of the Year, I guess. I would book myself to never really show up on screen and just be that boss that has a management
ominous figure,
has a management figurehead that's way more intimidating than me. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because Tony Khan is not an intimidating. Vince McMahon had a presence to him that made him feel authoritative, right?
Yeah.
Tony Khan comes out, does not have you don't get a single bit of authoritative.
He looks like a fanboy.
Yeah,
out there.
Looks like a wrestling fanboy, a soy boy cuck, and he doesn't look like he could take a bump either, quite frankly. So yeah, I would definitely not book myself to show up on TV. I would have somebody be my enforcer, be the manager, and be a tough guy, and I would have it be a legend. I would have had the manager be Big Show. Big Show's big and tall. He could fucking enforce his management position physically. He's got experience. And honestly, I mean, man, I don't know. Big Show shouldn't. I don't know. Yeah, I would have put Big Show as a manager of Dynamite. Because what else can Big Show really do in this company? Like, I would never book him for a title opportunity. I would never book him as a serious competitor because he's old, you know. But as a manager, he looks like he could like I'm not gonna do what you tell me. Well, I'll knock the shit out of you, you know. So it's like, okay, yeah, fair. But yeah, that's what I would do. But Tony Khan is kind of just, when he shows up on your screen, you're just thinking to yourself, nothing about you, not a single thing about you makes me like go, oh shit, the boss is here, guys.
Yeah, right.
Nothing about him. CM Punk lunged at this guy, and CM Punk like couldn't even win any single MMA fight. So,
but he was most scared. Tony Khan's the most scared he's ever felt in his life at a wrestling event.
I got a question for you. Do you think Tony Khan is working everybody? Like he's it's a work in his real life when he says things like that, because it makes us like talk about it, or do you think he means it when he says that?
I don't know.
Because I'm like, what grown man would say something so embarrassing, you know, in real life, unless you're looking to get attention for saying something stupid. Like why would you ever tell anyone, oh, that was the most scared I've ever been in my life. This guy who lost 2 MMA fights back to back lunged at me. I was like, okay. You were scared of that? You were scared for your life? What was CM Punk ever do to you? Whatever. Anyway,
We're trying to talk about Collision before we move on to NXT, Smackdown NXT.
Yeah, no? Briefly. We'll talk about it briefly. I'll let you do that.
So right, the main segments right here is not that many. It's like Claudio Castillo, which is this Swiss Superman basically, versus Eddie Kingston. That was really good for the whole thing. Their match was excellent. I thought Eddie Kingston did a great job for what he did. He really showed his talents as an underdog. So I thought it was excellent overall, the way how they played it out, especially Claudio Castillo. Like for a guy that like I look at him as a powerhouse, like especially when he was during his WWE era. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Because during his Cesaro era, on WWE, like him with Sheamus, like those dudes were unstoppable. So like to see him come over to AEW and everything and do Ring of Honor and all that stuff like that, the dude's been like nothing but a beast ever since then. But Eddie Kingston's like, to me, is like the bum you find out in the hobo you find in the dark alleyway, and like he wants to fight no matter what, and he's like drunk off his ass.
He does give that, he does give that vibe off, doesn't he?
Like you definitely tell he's got rabies or something like that.
He's got some like street alley disease for sure. Like he has something he got from a rat for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, like Eddie Kingston like really showed off his talents against Claudio, and this whole thing, it's a way to start off the Blue League for the Collision right there. So I thought it was a great match overall. Definitely something you should worth checking out for sure.
I mean, anything that involves Cesaro, I'll watch, because like Cesaro's good wherever he goes. I was watching Cesaro back in Ring of Honor days, I think it was like.
And that's what it feels like. It's like he's back in his Ring of Honor days with him being back there, because they got Ring of Honor and AEW there together, and he was during the Ring of Honor era when he was like champ and all that stuff. Is good.
It's always good to hear that he's still wrestling and still beloved. So okay, cool. All right, and what was else on this Collision card?
Oh man, like right now it was right now like it was a women's match right here. Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Martinez. It's just like, and again, it's like it was pretty standard fare. I think honestly though, like Toni Storm and Sky Blue was a much more memorable match versus this match. Personally, that's just my thoughts. This is pretty weak and pretty generic match outside of Mercedes Martinez doing the it was kind of like Damian Priest, how he does like his like power bomb type of deal, like the crucifix power bomb or something like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, but it was like a flip at the end. But it was not bad though the way to end to cap off the night for that match. It was all right. It was pretty standard for the most part.
Okay.
Another one too was afterwards was Willie Mack versus Wardlow. That was pretty weak because like Wardlow will always come out and just stomp the shit out of you, and that's it. And he did that with pretty quick. It was pretty much a squash match.
I do like that about him though. I do like that he's predominantly a squash guy. Just squashes people. You know, like that. Those things don't usually last long though, because then when you gotta start developing a character for a wrestler, you have to make them lose, because like so like squash wrestlers don't last long. Like they just their ability to just plow through the entire roster, like they'll do it, and then after that they'll go on this like losing streak, and you'll forget that they were ever like an unstoppable force. You know, kind of like with Ryback. Like with fucking Goldberg, with every like Brock Lesnar, like the unstoppable force just kind of like slows down. So we'll see how long that can last. But I really
think Wardlow has a lot of talent. I think Wardlow has a lot of talent, and I really wish they would tap into his mic skills a bit more. I think if he had a good promo coach, I think he'd be unstoppable. I think he'd be a very big main event talent.
I haven't heard a single promo from this guy actually. I've only seen his like clips of his matches.
He's got the look down. He's got the it factor. He's got the ring skills down. I just wish they just work on his promo skills.
Okay, that's fair. All right. And who won? Wardlow, of course. Yes.
Wardlow, of course, stomped the shit out of him. It was pretty much a squash match at that point.
Perfect.
So yeah, and, like there were some small segments in there, like with Ruby Soho and was there Paige? And like some it's nothing worth writing home about. So, like it's whatever. But like moving on, like here, like Kenny Omega versus Ethan Page. Kenny Omega pretty much was like. This is another type of squash match. It was not that long of a match.
Omega
it was pretty quick.
Has been back for how long now?
He's been back for a couple months now.
For a couple months, he was out a while ago, and then he came back a while back, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. It feels like there's a point in time where Kenny Omega felt like he had like the world in the palm of his hands, and now kind of feels like he's not even the biggest guy on his own.
It's not, especially when you got people like Will Ospreay coming on the roster now.
Yeah. I think Omega's the future of wrestling. Now I'm thinking to myself, Omega's getting old.
Omega's getting old, and he needs to start cashing in when he can.
Yeah. I always thought he was gonna be the future, but I'll say Omega's a good in-ring performer, but Omega's not like a memorable act. You get what I mean? He's not a memorable act. He's and that happens. There's a lot of wrestlers like that. Like Bret Hart is a more memorable wrestler than he is an act. I would say the same goes for Shawn Michaels on Triple H. Like there's just wrestlers who like they're known more for the matches they had than this gimmick or an act that they were, anything like that. So yeah. Anyway, continue.
But anyway, so like moving on for that whole thing. But like right now, like after that was like Commander and Penta versus Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Aang. I thought that was pretty weak for the most part. A lot of botches too in there too, especially from Penta of all people. I don't know what's with Penta. Like he's been botching a lot lately. It sucks because he's such a great talent.
Wrestling has a huge botch problem right now in general. All of wrestling.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of it weekly, you're gonna catch botches of it more frequently, right? Because like you used to just watch like the one show and then the pay-per-view that would happen once a month. You would one show a week, and then the pay-per-view would be once a month. So it was pretty limited wrestling compared to what we have now. We have Raw, then we have fucking Collision, then we have Dynamite, right? And then Collision, NXT, Smackdown. Holy fuck, dude! You know how much wrestling
there's a lot.
That is so much, and that's not even counting NWA. That's not counting TNA or no TNA and NWA aren't they like fusing or some shit? I don't know.
I think they're fusing together now.
Yeah. So it's just, man, there's just so much wrestling, and the independent scene is like, there's like even more independent shows wanting to like show up now. So it's like I don't know how anyone could keep track of it, really. So I'm surprised you were able to watch this show, Delta. I really am.
It's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. That's why I was like, man, we had to push it today because it was just like there's just so much this week.
Yeah,
we had to catch up on.
And then I'm gonna go like on a long ass bike ride after we're done recording the show, and then I gotta come back and watch Raw. But I'll have my Steam Deck on me, so when the women's matches come out, Baldur's Gate 3 be playing. It's great.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Let's just let's just wrap this up right here with the collision right here.
All right.
With Andrade versus Bryan Danielson. It was the main event of the Continental Classic Blue League for the night.
That actually sounds like a very good match.
It was. Andrade and Bryan Danielson did a stellar match from start to finish. And I love Andrade's lucha mask that he has. It looks so dark and gritty.
He's wrestling with the lucha mask now. Is he?
Yeah, he comes out with the lucha mask as entrance. I'll send you a photo. It's like a really nice and dark and gritty type of deal. He's got Miro's wife with him as his manager type.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks really good. It looks like something like I don't know.
You won't call him Rusev, okay? That's what you won't call him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you won't call him Rusev. It's Rusev.
Look at the setup. The thing is, Andrade's jacket looks like it's something made out of flesh almost. It looks like some sort of psychopath kind of deal, like a Texas Chainsaw look to it. It's weird with the mask.
Lana's looking significantly older. The hell? Maybe that's just a bad angle of Lana, but yeah. That mask is pretty sick. Yeah, okay.
But Andrade though was just stellar, got Bryan Danielson just doing a great job matching that throughout the whole thing. And it became a point though throughout the match that Bryan Danielson did lose his eye patch, his Snake Plissken eye patch lookalike. That ended up going away, and it ended up having his eye be exposed and bleeding out, and to the point that there was some blood showing up on Andrade as well. And Andrade actually ended up winning the match against Bryan Danielson. So ended up capping off the show, going to dark when he was trying to help Bryan Danielson get help by medical officials and everything. It was a stellar match though overall. It was great.
Andrade won then. Andrade won.
Yeah, Andrade did win the match in the end. So he will move on to it for now.
The real winner, the real winner was always him anyway, because he gets to go home to Charlotte Flair. So.
Oh yeah, but but also Bryan Danielson goes back to one of the Bella twins. So there you go. They both are winners.
Goes back home to the stupid one though. Well, they're both pretty stupid though.
Oh, say
they're both pretty stupid. I was gonna say.
We're such misogynist types on this show. Jesus Christ,
dude, I'm just being real, and a lot of people listening are probably agreeing with me. Women's wrestling is terrible. The women's roster is terrible. Nobody asked for more of this. This is such a weird thing to have. It's just weird to see wrestling go so soft. Even the impact has been lessened over the years. I'm watching, when they go to slam the other person's head on the announce table. These days, they don't even bother to make it look good. It's kind of hard to watch because it's oh yeah, nice job smacking your hands on the table. When I see Stone Cold, smack The Rock against the announce table, it looked pretty. It looked like The Rock's head bounced off the thing. You know what I mean? So it's just it's less impactful. Wrestling's been made a lot more safe. Wrestling should never be safe.
I don't know. I honestly think you should. I think you should go watch these matches on AEW. Some of them are pretty reckless.
Oh,
if you ask me.
AEW. So here's the thing, right? Sometimes I also might want to take back what I said, because some of the recklessness I've seen on AEW also makes me go, okay, well, that's needlessly reckless, I guess, but it was cool. A moment of recklessness actually happened on Raw with Jeff Hardy. It was one of the most brutal things I'd ever seen. Hardy goes for a swanton off the ladder, off the corner. He has a person on the table, but the steel steps are right there. Hardy lands a swanton bomb, and the back of his head hits the steel steps. I'm just whoa!
Yeah, right?
Dude, I was oh, or when Matt Hardy took that spear, I think it was a spear off the... He took a bad bump off the top of something, and the back of his head hit concrete. And it was it must have been a 7-foot drop or something. It was just wild. I was how is he alive? So... I I don't know, brutality like that is I guess it's really cool to see, but you don't want people to die either. But some people, some wrestlers really do want to go out there and die, though. Some really do. Some live for that thrill. So I don't know, dude. Maybe I will watch some of these matches then. If you said it's gonna get pretty brutal, right? Especially especially the Moxley matches. I know Moxley has
Moxley will guarantee blood Moxley for sure, 100%. He bleeds just talking.
Oh man, it's just that Coke just tells him go out there and bleed. Go out there and bleed, Moxley. Okay, anyway, that's it for AEW, right?
Yeah, that'd be it for the AEW right there.
All right,
sure.
Let's move on to Smackdown, I suppose. And it was a tribute to the troops as well. There were some troops out there in the front.
All around the front. It was basically the whole front row was all of them.
You know what's funny? I used to watch the tribute for the troops back when they used to have it, and I remember one of the first tribute to the troops shows I watched from WWE had Carlito versus Randy Orton, and Carlito won. It was surprising. I don't even know how Carlito has all these wins and never became a big wrestler. It's wild. So yes. Anyway, it was the annual tribute to the troops show. Sort of. I mean, it wasn't dedicated just to the troops. It was.
They had an opening segment for it. It was the tribute to the troops for sure.
I missed that opening segment then.
Yeah. That opening segment for it.
Anyway, so it was the United States Contender Tournament, Dragon Lee versus Santos, but that wasn't the first segment. Hold on. The first segment was. No, hold on. I believe the first segment.
No, it was the first segment.
They started off with a match, as they should. This is how wrestling should start. Are you sure that I don't remember? Did they have an opening for SmackDown, or was it straight to a match? They had an opening showing.
They had the opening segment for the troops, and they moved on to the match.
Gotcha. Okay, well, which is good because wrestling should start with wrestling matches, and this match was, short, quick, and fast. But the right man won. Escobar finally has his W. And I'm happy for him. Because, goddamn Escobar, bro. Like, you needed a W. And he got one over Dragon Lee. And that's good. There was a backstage segment with Randy Orton where he paid Nick Aldis to fine for RKOing him last week. And then there's
give him $100,000 instead of $50,000.
Yeah, and when Nick Aldis asked why, he's like, "That's for the next RKO." So I'm like, "Oh shit, he's gonna RKO him again." I don't know what. I'm telling
you, like that's we talked about it last week. I'm telling you, this is like it feels like it's like his Stone Cold arc with him being face. It feels like that.
It's weird though, because like Nick Aldis hasn't really shown any like examples of being a bad boss yet.
No, Nick Aldis has been good.
Yeah, he's been a good boss. Like he's like even like cool with Randy RKOing him as long as he pays him $50,000. I mean, to be fair, Randy Orton RKO'd me, I'd want $100,000 as well. So, yeah. So anyway, Nick Aldis tells him that he's booked him in a match with him and LA Knight versus the Bloodline. Which honestly, I've seen LA Knight versus the Bloodline a little too much lately, but now Randy.
It feels the same way. It feels the same way with Cody Rhodes and all these guys goes versus the Judgment Day. It's the same people.
It's the same people, and there's always like running out to save, make the save, and it was getting quite repetitive. But whatever. Randy's back, and he was really over with the crowd tonight. Like really over with the crowd tonight, even a little more than LA Knight was. The crowd was real happy to see Randy Orton. He's a SmackDown member now, so I'm going to go ahead and assume CM Punk is going to sign for Raw. He should, because Raw needs a superstar.
It makes sense. It makes sense to have him on there. Because it also built up the whole back and forth between him and Rollins overall for WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's where he's going to go, because I think him and Rollins, like you said, him and Rollins for that belt at WrestleMania in general would be just a good match, wouldn't it? And honestly, I think Rollins would win that one. I think they're going to have Rollins win over
I think that's all that matters in the end of the day. I think he just wants the main event. I don't think Punk really gives a shit if he does win the match. I think he just wants the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he also doesn't... Oh, you think that's going to be a main event match, huh?
I think, well, I mean, it's the fucking belt. Of course it would be a main event. It's night one main event, in my opinion. That will be night one.
Oh, night one main event. That's right. It's going to be 2 night. In that case, yeah. It's gonna be a stellar match too. Okay. Oh my god, I burned my lungs on that one. Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay, top moments and takeaway. JBL comparing Mysterio to Gandhi. The commentary was a little weird today, or I mean, that night. And now suddenly
JBL being there, that's so weird.
I don't like JBL. I never did. Never will.
I don't like him either.
And,
not for commentary. Not for commentary. I think it was great as a heel, but that was about it.
And Nelson Mandela as leaders who emerged from prison better off was certainly a choice. Mysterio appearing at ringside during Lee's match was a nice way to create interest in Saturday's NXT Deadline event. The finish was rather uneventful, but gave way to Mysterio arrogantly standing tall over Lee, then spinning on him in the ultimate sign of disrespect. Maybe having Orton saying he didn't know who Knight was until last week isn't the best way to put the megastar over. I don't know. I felt like that
I would vastly agree with that, honestly, because I feel like ever since the Crown Jewel, he's been basically taking a back seat for the most part, which sucks. I honestly think it would have been better if instead of having him go to Nick Aldis and have that talk with him, it would have been better to actually have those two actually talk, because I didn't see that throughout the entire night of them working together. So it's like, why is this not here at all? Why don't they just like have them both, see each other backstage and like say like, oh yeah, thanks for helping me out last week. It's like you did good with helping me out this weekend or something like that. In a tag team. How hard is that? I don't know why. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, yeah. LA Knight has definitely like taken a huge backseat since his match with Roman, which I knew was going to happen. I knew it was going to hurt his momentum a bit. But what hurt his momentum even more is like, oh, CM Punk and Randy Orton are back now. You know what I mean? Bad timing for him, especially after losing to Roman, because now all the talk is CM Punk again. But I say the crowd still go crazy for LA Knight. They still like him, but they definitely no longer believe in him, to be like someone who's going to win a big title anytime soon. So now he's going to float on the mid card for a while. We'll see what happens. We'll see if LA Knight gets a WrestleMania moment. I believe he deserves one WrestleMania moment. What do you think?
I think he does too, because he's been doing he's been like their top merch seller for months on end.
Still their
he deserves to be on there, and he's a huge draw. He's super over with the crowd. He should be having his WrestleMania moment. The man got over naturally with the crowd. He should be rewarding that at WrestleMania.
I mean, it's the most added. He gives off the most attitude era vibes you can in such a ultra PG era, right? Because, I guess people find him cool, but he was in the ring with Randy Orton. He was in a tag match with Randy Orton. I guess that helped give him the attention. It elevated him even more. I mean, at one point it did feel like it was the LA Knight show. Now we'll see how it is if him and Randy Orton can share that spotlight. Because I know the first thing they're going to want to do with Randy is they're going to want him to chase a title of some sort. So we'll find. Well, I don't know. I think him and Roman will have a match for the title before Mania, and I think Randy will lose that match. Obviously, but it would, because when was the last time we saw Roman and Randy fight for a belt? When's the last time we saw that?
Oh, it's been a minute. Like, if you don't count tag titles, it's been a minute. It's been a long minute.
It's been a while since we've seen Roman and Randy fight for the belt, so I wouldn't mind seeing that. Some people will be like, I don't want to see Randy and Roman for the belt, but I do. Anyway, Cody Rhodes made a special appearance Friday night. I don't understand the rules of SmackDown and Raw. I don't understand, if you're under contract with a certain brand, you can still show up on the other brand's show, on the other.
He's got that political power, apparently. He can just go everywhere he wants to go.
Wrestlers do this. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, the whole brand split doesn't even. There's no point to it when wrestlers can just freely go between both brands.
I know. That's why I laugh about it. They're like, oh, they signed Randy Orton. Oh, they're gonna sign CM Punk to Raw. Like, who cares? They're gonna show up on all weeks.
They're gonna show up on both shows either way. It seems like the bigger the talent you are, the higher probability of you being on both shows per week. So anyway, yeah, he comes out with his usual "What do you want to talk about?" promo. Comes out to thank the troops, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a whole tribute.
Yeah.
He dedicated his tribute to troops, just like how
his,
John Cena used to do back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, he's the perfect face to do that right now.
Yeah, why not? He's like the new Cena for them. Why not?
Yeah. Anyway, next was the love for Rhodes cannot be faked or manufactured, though he and CM Punk are beloved for different reasons. It is the connection with the fans that will ensure they have passionate support regardless of where they go. Rhodes and CM Punk are probably equal on fan reception, I would say. They're both about on equal footing when it comes to how much crowd reception they get, from what I've noticed. Like, I don't know, like, I've been expecting louder cheers for Punk, but they've been okay. They just haven't been that crazy. Same with Rhodes. Randy got a higher pop on SmackDown this week, I think. Like, the crowd was over for Randy more. But anyway, between both Rhodes and Punk, I definitely want Rhodes to continue being pushed more than Punk, because he is a younger talent. And I think Rhodes is still the future of wrestling. Well, I don't know why I say future. He is the current, like, star of wrestling, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
like
I'd say so.
When it comes to, like, a wrestler, not a multi-talent, like just a wrestler, he is, like, up there. Him and Gunter are both, like, just pure talent, wrestling talents. Rhodes threw to a video package reliving the history of the tribute to the troops, and it was extremely apparent how important John Cena was. Yeah, John Cena used to attend all of these things.
All of them.
John Cena was like the face for the tribute to the troops. Anyway. And then the United States Contender Tournament, Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross. I messaged you, and I was like, Karrion Kross was back. I was like, I don't know.
Like, he was back, and he lost again.
And he lost again.
He'll be shuffled away and gone for another couple months at least.
It looks like he grew.
I don't know. Kross, in my opinion, like, he has so much potential, but the man just cannot get over, and it sucks.
Yeah, it looks like he grew his hair out a little bit.
Yep.
His valet was out there with him, and she's looking fine. But
Scarlett, yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Lashley won pretty decisively here, which is good.
Oh yeah.
Lashley is a beast. Lashley's a monster. Lashley should be booked to not ever really lose to guys like Karrion either way. Feel bad for Karrion. His return. He returns and he leaves on his back per usual, but it's necessary because Lashley looks like a more serious competitor for the title than Karrion does. It really sucks because they booked Karrion in a feud with Ray, and I actually liked that feud as short as it was. It just sucks because, like, Karrion can never really back up his shit talking. Really sucks.
Right.
So, but whatever, the right man won. And Bobby Lashley's entrance theme continues to grow on me more and more, actually, when I hear it. Street Profits came out at the end to congratulate him. Anyway, then I think it comes CM Punk's SmackDown return, which is nuts because CM Punk left around this time. Was like I believe it was around this time, like 9 years ago. Was his last appearance was on an episode of SmackDown, and it was when he was having like a confrontation with Corporate Kane. I remember that segment.
Yep. Yeah. I think that was Raw.
No, that was SmackDown.
Was it SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Raw.
No, he had a confrontation with Corporate Kane on Raw, but he had another.
I know that. Yeah.
But his last appearance was another one on SmackDown with Corporate Kane, and CM Punk was kind of like getting subtle hints that he was leaving during that promo as well. It was just that, or that's how I perceive it, because like it's kind of hard not to perceive like he's trying to say something, right? Anyway, if anyone watched CM Punk's first promo back on November 27th episode of Raw, and was concerned that we were somehow in store for a neutered or subdued Best in the World, he eased all concerns with a fiery promo Friday night that left no stone unturned. It was very much a in-character promo, right? It wasn't a Phil Brooks promo.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. He was doing his job he was doing his job very professionally, and that was just like, talking, like selling you on the matches, selling you on his return. I thought he did pretty good on it. I'm not expecting pipe bombs from CM Punk right now because like he's in a good state with the company, so they don't expect a pipe bomb on anything. I think that's what people probably want from him. They're like, yeah, CM Punk who speaks on the mic the truth how it is. He's pretty tame now. He's pretty tame now, but it's pretty professional, I would say. He did the job.
I thought he was pretty good for the most part. I thought that whole segment was great, actually. It's like, but that makes me wonder though, because like he did do like a small subtle dig at the Young Bucks and everything like that, and there was no reaction to it. And it could go either two ways. One, people don't follow AEW because like the WWE crowd is very casual. They just come because it's like it's kind of like the Disney of the wrestling industry. Yeah. It's such a massive conglomerate. No one looks at the smaller second tier type of outlets out there. So or AEW is so irrelevant to the point that nobody knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Delta, look at that crowd attendance at AEW. Obviously, nobody gets what Punk is talking about based on that attendance. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like I said this before when we started the show. I was like, I don't want to be like an AEW hate, podcast.
That's fair.
There's so many of those, right? But the thing is that it's kind of hard to ignore. It's like Punk threw out a pretty good reference there.
Very good reference.
Like that you would only know if you're a Punk fan. And that's the thing, like this WWE crowd right there, like they were Punk fans, but they weren't paying attention to what he was doing in AEW because they only cared about him being in this company.
Yeah.
So that's ouch, but the Young Bucks are sitting backstage, watching that, and then probably just like smirking, like, huh, whatever, dude.
Yeah, and that's what they're probably looking at. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could go either way. Either like the casual crowd has no idea what he's talking about, or AEW is so irrelevant to the point that they don't know what the hell that is. Yeah. One of the two. It could go either way. At the end of the day, they tried to reference it with Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens being best friends with the Bucks and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Even having Kevin Owens show up in the backstage with CM Punk. It's like. It makes you wonder there is going to be a feud between the two of them sometime before we get to WrestleMania, which it could happen. And I'd be totally down for that, honestly. So,
yeah. No, he... I didn't know he had past issues with Kevin Owens, Punk. I don't know about that. I didn't know about that.
No, there's no issue, but they're friends with he's friends with the Bucks, and he's that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like it might not be an issue at all.
The Bucks are friends with a lot of people, so
they are.
But they're also enemies with a lot of people. That's just how it is.
Yes, they are.
That's just how the business is. Anyway, yes, he even dropped the reference to both AEW's All Out 2022 Brawl and his physical altercation with Jack Perry at All In 2023. Yes, it was very much what he was pointing out, but that flew over all of those fans' heads. They just didn't get it.
Barely reacted. Barely got a reaction for the most part.
You know what's funny? You know what's crazier? What was it? Xavier Woods got a crazy reaction in his rap battle against the Usos when they pointed out his sex tape with Paige. Like, just don't get all redded out like your boy Xavier Woods. The whole crowd was like, ah!
I think it could be that. It could just be like the crowd is just confided into what goes on in WWE and WWE only.
No, because WWE fans do pay attention to everything going on in WWE. They do get references within the company. Kind of like when William Regal, like when Vince McMahon's like, I don't want no one kissing my ass. And then like they pan out and William Regal's sitting next to him. He's like, oh, no offense, And like fans got that reference, But when it goes to this AEW reference, nobody got it because nobody there attending those shows, paying to watch this, gives a shit about AEW, as sad as that is. But it's
they also could depend on the location because depends on where they go. If you did that in Chicago, if you did that in in New York City, if you leading up to WrestleMania kind of deal, I think a lot of fans would have gotten that reference quick. But it just depends where they're at. And what time of the year they're in.
Yeah, he also took shots at reigning World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, seemingly planting the seeds for that hotly anticipated championship match, which I know we're going to get. His final mic drop statement about finishing his story by headlining WrestleMania. It's interesting because I think he signed a 3-year contract, right?
Yes.
So he's going to be attending 3 WrestleManias, really. So this, I don't know what he means by finishing his story. We'll see. Because when he said that, I thought to myself, was he back for like one run? No, he signed a 3-year contract. Unless he has one run, and the next 2 years will be like management position of some sort. Who knows, really?
Maybe.
By headlining WrestleMania should serve to create doubt about Rhodes rolling into the Royal Rumble and winning the title match. This was everything anyone could have asked for. Now, I guess with sound bites that will be played over and over for weeks. It was a good promo. Punk is very good.
Very
at this.
good.
He came back. Yeah, I like it because, for one thing, he put over the roster. He put over the company. He put over the show. He put over the champion. All within like one promo. You know, so it was pretty impressive to watch. He didn't make anybody look weak. He made them look like, as serious contenders. And honestly, it's like I guess, yeah. I guess it is all you could ever ask for if you're management and you're watching this. You're like, excellent, perfect. He did that well. And he also took a dig at the competitors. But, it's funny, though, Delta. WWE takes a dig at AEW. We're all like, ha, ha, ha. If AEW takes a dig at WWE, we're like, ugh, immature of you guys. Right? So
I think the only difference between the two of them is that, like, one does it so frequently.
Yeah,
and one barely acknowledges it.
But this is, like, what, the second dig at AEW from Punk on his return so far?
I don't even think this might be the first one, honestly.
Yeah,
because I don't think he did anything on the first. I don't think he did it on the first promo. I don't think he made any references.
Did he? He did, but it was off air. Fans recorded it on their phones though, and that's when he was doing the jog around the ring. But that was
Yeah, whatever. So I thought they were mocking him for that prior to that because he used to do that at AEW as well.
I don't know. I thought it was him mocking something related to an AEW moment, which fans were pointing out on the social media posts. So I don't know. I guess I got that wrong. I guess he's mocking himself because he was doing the jog. I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest with that reference. So. People say a monster reaction for Punk. I wouldn't say monster reaction. It was decently loud, I guess. But would you say that was a monster reaction?
No, nothing. Like, that compares to the Survivor Series. Again, the pop will always be big over in Chicago for Punk, no matter where he goes. Yeah. For that part, but like it's like Chicago will always be popular for him. It's the same way with like when Edge and like would go back to Canada, or even when Sami Zayn would go back to Canada. Yeah. It's how it is. It's like those crowds will pop for those figures. So, yeah, it's a good pop, but it's nothing compared to like Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. So the top moments and takeaways from Punk's promo work is this is what the Lucha Report feels were the top moments and takeaways was. The good news is that it's the top of the 9-hour. I'm not on last, so I won't get my time cut. Chant all you want.
Yeah, because everyone felt the same way. It's like he showed up. Remember the second half, and like you only gave him like 5 minutes or something like that. For a big guy like him, is here to do his promos, and you give him 5 minutes in the second half rather than put him in the first half, the commercial free, and give him a mic for like 10 minutes. They actually gave him 10 minutes here. Yeah, they gave him for once.
Yeah, they gave him 9 minutes to talk and a minute long entrance. They gave him a fair amount of time. Yeah. He said, a friend of mine who welcomed me back home famously likes to come out here and say, what do you guys want to talk about? Punk said, referencing Cody Rhodes. Yeah. And then another one, Tribal Chief, I acknowledge you. Congratulations on all your success. Don't forget who the OG Paul Heyman guy was. Don't forget that he was my wise man first. I liked that one. That was like, yeah.
Yep.
That was cool. Yeah. Punk and Heyman era was pretty great.
I'm hoping to see some more of the interaction between him and Heyman again. Now that he's back on the roster.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see another interaction between him and The Rock very soon.
It's possible.
Yeah,
it could happen.
I could see it backstage. I mean, yeah. I don't know who would feel comfortable working with someone who just randomly punches people in the face backstage. It's 2023. You just can't be doing that, Punk said. Totally and only referencing Kevin Owens.
Punching. That's what I'm saying. It was a clever way. I thought it was a clever way to do that with Kevin Owens punching Theory and Grayson Waller. I think that's a clever way of referencing AEW while also bringing it in line what people know in WWE right there. I thought it was a smart move right there. So.
Yeah, it was. And then on top of that, Kevin Owens and CM Punk had a backstage segment too later on.
Mm-hmm.
A very brief one, but yeah. Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Surprising to have this match just given away on SmackDown.
Right.
This is like a pay-per-view match here, But wow, Charlotte Flair looks terrible in this photo.
Unfortunately, she's injured now after this match. She's gonna be out for a minute.
I saw a clip on Twitter. She legitimately had real pain. Her and Asuka had a match, and Asuka won, and I was glad about that. But it was not a good match. It was very quick, but I'm guessing that's because Charlotte got hurt. That to end it quickly, maybe. Yeah, it's interesting to see Asuka win for once against Charlotte. Remember Asuka's debut on the roster? She had a WrestleMania match with Charlotte where she tapped her out. Like, Charlotte tapped her out. I was like, oh, the Asuka train is dead. I was like, oh.
That's what pissed me off. It's like they hyped her up because, like, I remember leading out of NXT, she was so unstoppable at NXT to the point that she didn't even lose the title. She vacated the title and went to the main roster to continue that beatdown with the main roster and was undefeated the whole way through up until WrestleMania. And like ever since then, she's been like a kind of a laughing joke ever since then. It sucks what they did with Asuka. It really does suck.
They fucked both Asuka and Nakamura over the same year on the same WrestleMania.
I think the whole thing with Nakamura is ever since he fucking almost hurt John Cena's neck, he has been fucked ever since.
He dropped him on his neck, but to be fair, Cena didn't do that move right himself. I mean, it's on both.
But they don't care. It's John Cena. It's like it don't matter if you may have not even been the full reason why it happened, but you almost hurt John Cena. So therefore, your ass is grass basically, and you're gonna be a mid carder from here on out.
Wild. They had Asuka beating like the top faces in her first run. Same with Nakamura beating some of the top faces. Like he beat Randy clean, he beat Cena clean, and then he won the Royal Rumble. And then like Asuka, and like they set him up for his WrestleMania moment, and both Asuka and Nakamura just lost clean and decisively. It was just like, oof, bad year. I think was that the same year for both of them? It was like, let's see, Asuka and Flair WrestleMania. Was that like 2017 or 18? I'm trying to remember. It's been a
man, it's been a minute. But I want to say like 2018 was when it happened.
Yeah.
Maybe 2019.
So whenever I see Asuka beat Flair, which she has done before, it brings a smile to my face. It's like it eases the pain of what happened to her years ago, just a bit, because I did feel bad for how they booked her to lose at Mania, So I was like, she tapped. I was like, oof, that's like the worst way to lose in this company is to tap. Yeah, Zelina Vega and Mia Yim battled Io Sky and Kairi Sane to the back, and we're joined by Bianca Belair and Shotzi. I didn't even pay attention to that.
It's kind of a whatever segment right here at the end.
Oh right, that's right. Bailey's ass was looking extra fine tonight. She was wearing like some black spandex or some shit. And her ass looked.
We're never gonna beat the misogyny.
Allegations. Her ass looked fine tonight, man. This may have been built. What do you want me to say? Sorry, she's not a big booty Latina. Look, she looks so sexy in those spandex.
I know. Yeah.
Ha, look at the smiley. This may have been billed as a WrestleMania rematch, but it damn sure never got to that level. Too long commercial break, plus the late match shenanigans made it for a good match that never poached the WrestleMania 38 Classic. Oh man, dude, that their WrestleMania match still like, oh,
it was a good match.
it was a good match, but like, man, for Asuka to lose like that was still hurt.
It did nothing for Charlotte, in my opinion. It did nothing for Charlotte. It should have carried on to Asuka winning.
Yeah, Randy Orton and LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. This well, it was another bloodline match. Another night of Roman not showing up. Another night of Roman.
Which he will show up next week though. He will be there next week.
I mean, yeah, god damn, like the champion isn't on the card that often, but I guess it should sort of be booked that way. It should be a treat to see the champion kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
So Roman showing up casually, but as long, at the very least, he doesn't go too long without showing up. He will show up every month, which is...
It'll be interesting though that Randy's back. With Randy being back, he might even mention CM Punk as well. I don't know. Now with them here, I like to see his reaction to everything changing since he's been gone.
Yeah. No, man, fucking that crowd loved Randy tonight, didn't they, man?
Well, yeah. Well, Randy's a fucking star. Of course they're gonna love him.
Randy is a mega star. Like, this company doesn't have too many of those anymore, right? It's John Cena, megastar. Fucking Randy Orton, megastar. I would say Rey Mysterio to an extent is a megastar. Like, he's an icon. He's a recognizable face.
I'd say so.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Fucking Lesnar is a megastar. Both in and out of the WWE. Batista was a megastar.
I think he still is a megastar.
Megastar.
He's got that Marvel money.
I still debate to this day Triple H was never really a draw, though. I mean, it's interesting, though.
I think so.
He wasn't a draw, but when he had matches with Undertaker at Mania, he was a draw, So, but no, I don't know. DX was a draw, so I guess you could say Triple H was, yeah. So, but yeah, no, the megastars, LA Knight they're trying to get him to that status. They're trying to get him to be a recognizable name outside of their company. We will see. Like the LA Knight, meme. I've seen that used outside of wrestling circles. The meme where he's like grabbing onto the ropes. He's going, yeah. I have seen it. I have seen it used outside of wrestling circles. So I don't know. I guess wrestling.
Well, it's like Daniel Bryan's. It's like Daniel Bryan's. Yes, it's like that now. With the yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Bryan was a short-lived megastar. Like he was getting there, and like the company just halted his momentum at each and every opportunity they got. CM Punk, megastar, obviously. So there's another one. Hardy, I would say, elevated to megastar over the years, but his last run with the company was pretty fucking lame, to be honest. Like it was so wild. Like I never thought I would see the Hardys in WWE again, and they showed up and they had a very forgettable run, very forgettable return. Well, let's see. Hardy won the U.S. title, right? That was like the most memorable thing he did. And they won the tag titles again on their return too, instead of giving it to Enzo Amore and Big Cass. But anyway, back to the Randy Orton, LA Knight, Sikoa, Jimmy Uso match. Obviously, they beat them. I doubt that's enough for Orton. Orton's probably going to want the bloodline again at another pay-per-view. I'm willing to bet.
His plan is to fight all of them at the end of the day, so it'll probably be Roman.
He's going to get a championship match against Roman. I'm telling you, he's going to get a championship match against Roman. And I think this is a perfect time to highlight Randy Orton's nearly a 16-time world champion, right? They should really highlight that between these two when they have a match, because it would sell people a lot. Can Randy Orton actually tie Ric Flair and Cena? The Viper and Megastar overcame early match dominance by the heels to halt their momentum and put them away, with Orton dropping Uso with an RKO for the second week in a row and earning the hard-fought victory. It was an entertaining match. It was quick, and overall, that's the show. That's it, A lot of wrestling, man. We covered a lot of fucking wrestling.
Without the NXT deadline being involved in the discussion.
No, other than CM Punk showing up on that show, but that was like a mandatory thing, right?
Well, you also had that. You also had the North American Championship with Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee, which Dominic Mysterio did lose that match. He lost the belt.
Fuck. He did?
So yes, he did, and he lost it. And he lost it clean without any interference at all from Judgment Day helping him assist him in any way, shape, or form. He lost it clean.
He should, because he's like, we shouldn't really be seeing Dominic as a serious competitor. More like a fortunate, like he's lucky to be in this position kind of kid, right? So
yeah,
I'm glad to see he lost the belt clean and decisively, as he should, each and every time he loses it. I wonder how that's going to play into the Bloodline storyline tonight. So I got to tune into Raw and see how that goes. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you for joining us for this week in wrestling. We will cover as much every week as we can, and I'm trying to I'm slowly working on uploads talking about other wrestling related subjects, for videos of their own. They're going to be pretty well edited, quick, what culture style, I guess you could say, but a little bit more a little more risque. Pretty sexist stuff overall.
Oh man,
I'm just kidding.
This channel's so gonna be that. Oh man,
Delta's like, you ruined it already.
It's over. It's over.
We were just about to get to 1,000 subs.
And we're doing great, by the way. The sub. Thank you guys for watching the content, listening to it, and getting your input on everything.
Yeah. Please keep sharing the stuff. We're gonna have more highly edited, more we're gonna have a lot more entertaining content coming your way. It's just gonna take more time on my part, because I'm managing the two channels now, and that's a lot of work now. But
it is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and when it comes to covering both video games and wrestling, holy shit. You have to.
There's just so much. Again, we were briefly mentioning stuff on NXT Deadline, and Deadline was such a massive pay-per-view for what it was. And it was a good pay-per-view overall, honestly, for the young talent that they have going on here. It's crazy to see what the next generation is going to be like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Trick Williams, you got Carmella Hayes in there, and they're already talking about Carmella Hayes. They announced yesterday that Carmella Hayes will be joining the U.S. Championship tournament as the NXT entrant that is supposed to be. They were talking about there was going to be an NXT entrant. Turns out it's going to be Carmella Hayes going to be in there. So that'll be interesting how that plays out, because we get to see him go against main roster talent for a tournament. So, and not to mention too, people like the current NXT champion, Dragon Lee, Ilya Dragunov. He's that dude's a fucking beast in there with those red contacts and everything against Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin really put the fuck over on him for that whole thing. But damn, his finisher moves when he just punches dudes, slam punches them while they're on their back. Yeah. That shit looks rough when you hit someone.
Yeah, no, Dragunov and Gunter are both the two wrestlers, the two only wrestlers. Well, Drew McIntyre as well, and I would say Sheamus actually. These guys are some of the few wrestlers on the roster that make wrestling actually look painful. And that's I've mentioned it so many times, the best wrestling's at its best when it looks painful.
You want to talk about painful? Yeah. People like Braun Breaker, in my opinion, should be on the main roster. His spear, in my opinion, is the most brutalest spear I've seen since probably since the name's escaping me right now.
I'm trying to think
about who's the best one that had the spear during the ECW era?
Oh, from the ECW era, holy shit!
Yeah. Gore, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that was fucking Rhino, right?
Rhino. It feels like Rhino's spear is it's just cranked up to 10.
Rhino's spear, yeah, Rhino's spear that he delivered to one of the Dudleys. It was the little Dudley. There's Devon, there's Bubba Ray, and then there was, who was the scrawny one? What was his name? He was a Dudley at one point. I forget.
Oh, you're talking about Spike Dudley.
Spike Dudley, man. He took a gore from
that
Rhino
guy got his ass beat all the time.
That guy took a gore from Rhino that looked like he almost died a couple of times.
Braun Breaker is such a beast for his spears. To the point that the dude is the only guy I know that can get a spear off some dude that's jumping off the top of a turnbuckle. Yeah. I've never seen that happen. And when he hits it, when he lands it, that shit looks like it fucking hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, some of my favorite moves that look like they're hurting this company are like, I like when Gunter like turns an opponent upside down between the ropes in the corner, and he has like his wrestling boot, like the edge of it, you know, the rubbery part, like pinching on their face, you know, as he's pulling down on them. It looks painful. It look, you know, like just like the sensation of like a rubber boot like pulling on your skin, right?
Yeah, right.
It looks painful. He makes it look good. And Dragunov's like his spinning elbow looks legit. It looked like like Dragunov's spinning elbow, like, or spinning. No, it's like what is it? Yeah, it's the spinning elbow and the spinning back arm. Like it looks really good, dude. Him and Gunter beat the living shit out of each other in their matches on NXT during the COVID era. They had championship matches in NXT. There's no audience, so you just hear the sound of these two guys like smacking each other's flesh, and just like you hear the pain. You're just like, oh my god! Like, have you ever watched Walter versus Dragunov NXT?
Yeah, those chops they have were so hard to the point you saw Dragunov just like basically get a flip backwards from how hard those things were, and that slap would pretty much echo the entire continent. It was so loud.
Dude, they were stiff shotting each other. They were like, at one point, Gunter really did kick him in the back of the neck with his. I was just like, holy shit. But those two like are just, they're okay with working each other that hard.
I'm looking forward to eventually when Ilya Dragunov does go to the main roster. I would love to have those two have another feud and shoot each other on the main roster.
It'll be significantly toned down from that NXT match, because that NXT match was kind of frightening. I was like, they're literally hurting each other. I'm like, ouch.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think the main that would get over too well on the main roster, like with main audiences. But then again, Gunter and Sheamus brutalized each other pretty well at Crash at the Castle, so I'm betting some fans would like to see that level of intensity, because it was an intense match. It at times got a little uncomfortable to watch, because you're like, I'm like, it looks like he's trying to kill him. Damn, Gunter, I'm like, a few times like, Gunter, you do realize wrestling is fake, right? Yeah, I can't wait. Just the possibilities. I would like to see Dragunov and Ciampa go at it on the main roster. That would be really cool to watch. So anyway, again, thank you all for tuning in, watching us. We will be here next week for another recap in This Week in Wrestling. Be on the lookout for other types of content coming your way. So Delta, say bye to everyone for us, and I will get ready to end the show.
So long, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us all the way to the end. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to listen to this content.
All right, then. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
See you.